I pretended to be a missing girl. Mystery and suspense. Michaela Murray went missing 12 years ago, on the eve of her 18th birthday. She didn't have any big plans or anything, but her friends described her as having been in a particularly good mood for what was an otherwise perfectly normal Friday. She'd gone to school, soccer practice, work, and then came home for a night of movies with her kid brother James. He was more excited for her birthday than she was. Even wanted to stay awake with her until midnight, but, of course, had fallen asleep right away. When he woke in the middle of the night, he saw her headlights shining through his window and watched as they rushed down their country road, not knowing that it was the last he'd ever see of her. The poor kid was only 5 and would be forever tormented over why she'd left him or why she'd never come back. It wasn't until the sun came up on that cold Saturday morning that anyone realized something was wrong. Her parents entered her room to wish her a happy birthday, only to find her bed empty, car gone, and phone off. They'd started their rounds of calls to all Michaela's friends, but nobody had seen or heard from her. Panic really started to set in when Michaela's car was found abandoned on the side of a heavily wooded road, facing the wrong direction, practically in the middle of nowhere. There were no parks or hiking trails, nor were there any signs of a struggle or any evidence of where she might have gone next. Until Michaela's parents followed that road on a map. They knew she had a boyfriend, Tom. He was a year older and had just gone off to college. He'd been trying to get Michaela to come visit him, but her parents forbid it. But if they hadn't, this was the very road Michaela would have taken to get there. So while Linda Murray filed the missing persons report, Paul Murray sped on up that road, all the way to Tom's university. Tom swore to him, and later the investigators, that he hadn't seen her in weeks, that he'd been in his room studying that night. His roommate confirmed as much, with the added disclosure of having later gone home, where he'd then spent the weekend. The rest was uncertain. The police looked deeper into Tom and found strands of Michaela's hair in his car, which proved nothing foul, but it spooked him enough into admitting that he'd seen Michaela more recently than he'd stated, that he'd picked her up late the weekend prior for a midnight drive. This sounded precisely like what had happened the night she'd gone missing, but police found nothing to substantiate it. Tom was eventually cleared as a suspect, and the Murrays would never let it go. They were certain he was involved in Michaela's disappearance. So certain that Paul Murray spent several nights sitting outside Tom's dorm, waiting to catch his daughter going in or out. Tom's family wanted to press charges, but Paul had friends in the sheriff's office who'd assured the family that it would not happen again, and left Paul with a very stern warning. But being friends with law enforcement only went so far, as the case would soon go cold, with days, weeks, and months passing by without any further updates. The public moved on, while the people in Michaela's life were left with this dark cloud of uncertainty, wondering what had happened to her. If she was out there somewhere, alive, and she was. She was about to return home after more than a decade gone, because I'm Michaela Murray, and I ran away that night to start a new life. That's what I told the Murrays anyway. I had no fucking idea what happened to that girl. I'm awful, I know. I'm not proud of myself. I was desperate, homeless and on the run, smoking a pack a day, sleeping with men from bars for money, only to spend it at another bar and do it all over again. I was stuck and needed a plan. Then I saw her face, Michaela Murray. It was on a bulletin board at some cheap motel I'd been passing through. There were half a dozen girls on there, but Michaela stood out, her blonde hair straight and pretty, her blue eyes as wide as her smile. It stopped me dead in my tracks because she looked like me, exactly like me. I could have swapped in one of my old high school photos and nobody would have noticed. Not that anyone was paying attention to this board or these girls anymore. Even the lady at the motel, who'd spotted me staring, said, "They ain't coming home, dear, but I don't got the heart to take 'em down." I was curious, enough to turn on the phone I'd kept in my bag just in case. My father had long stopped paying for it, but the motel offered free Wi-Fi and I'd used it to read more about Michaela. I learned that she was only 2 years older than me, and that the photo in the lobby wasn't just a one-off. She resembled me in every other photo, of which there were many, along with theories about what had happened to her. I couldn't have given any less of a shit about that rabbit hole. What got my interest were the earrings.